If you're after that performance exhaust sound but don't want to pay the performance price for your 2009 to 2013 5.3 liter powered Silverado or Sierra 1500, then C&L's dual rear exit exhaust system is going to be the one for you. While making the old standby 5.3 Vortec in these trucks louder can be a fun exploit, it is very easy to go overboard. C&L system brings you some great sound and quality at a really good price, and this does of course have more volume than your stock system. Accordingly, we're going to give it a very solid 3 out of 5 on our loudness meter. It's definitely going to be a step up from stock, and while your neighbors will know that something's up, it won't have them shaking their fists at you on a cold morning. Now this is a full catback system, so it's going to replace your factory muffler and resonator, leaving you with just this one suitcase style muffler here. As you heard from the clips at the start of the video, and as the resonance of this thing would substantiate, it is going to be louder than your stock muffler. However, you might have noticed there is quite a bit of packing in here. So this is a straight through design, as you can hopefully see, but despite it being a straight through design, you've got some perforations in there and that packing, which means that you're gonna get noise and better flow, but it's not gonna be over the top. It's really not that loud at all, and even compared to the very quiet stock setup, this is gonna be quite a bit different. Again, as you heard in the clips, what you do get here is more aggressive. It gives these trucks a sound that is befitting a Chevy small block V8, and frankly, this is the kind of sound we all probably wish they had from the factory. And because you only have that one muffler, and again, it is straight through, that means that this will breathe a bit better than your stock exhaust as well, which can help make for more power and better response. Now, don't expect huge increases in power or torque or anything like that, but again, it's going to help your truck breathe a little bit better and reduce some back pressure, which can unlock more power. So you may feel it a bit more through the seat of your pants. Now, inside the cabin, of course, that all means that you're going to get more noise too, so prepare for a louder cabin. As you heard in those clips, it is louder inside, but it still sounds good. You've got that nice low V8 rumble all the time, but you can still carry on a conversation or listen to music, and when you really want to hear it sing, just put your foot down. Since this isn't a straight pipe or something like that, it strikes a really nice balance of sound and volume. Now, from an aesthetic perspective, well, that's another place where this is a big step up from stock. Instead of the plain old piping just hanging out behind the passenger side rear wheel, this one gives you a set of dual tips, and they come out either side behind the rear wheels. Now, these are finished in this nice textured high temp black coating for a little bit of added zip, and it gives these trucks a nice visual update. It's something that really works well with the styling here. Personally, it's my favorite style on these trucks, and the eagle-eyed enthusiast will definitely take note of this right away, to say nothing of how it sounds when you start it up. Construction here is all 409 grade mandrel-bent stainless steel. The piping is 3 inches going into the muffler and then 2.5 inches the rest of the way back. So again, this is going to allow for some really good exhaust flow, and the material means that you'll get some good protection against rust and corrosion as well. Now, 409 isn't going to provide as much protection as, say, 304 stainless, but it also doesn't come with the price tag of 304 either, and this should still last you a good long time. The tips, though, they are 304 stainless, and again, they're finished in that high temp black powder coating that we were talking about earlier, so what you see gets some extra protection. The muffler also has that same high temp coating as the tips for additional protection, so it gives you the protection where you really need it and want it. It is a great looking and sounding system, especially considering the price. Speaking of, this system is going to run you about $875, and though that is a good chunk of change, it actually makes it a pretty affordable option, especially considering the sound quality and the materials. I think you're getting a pretty good product for your money here, and while it may not have huge fancy tips or switchable valves, you do get some great sound and a good look for a really reasonable price, and that makes this one hard to argue with. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you about 2 hours to complete. Now, like most exhausts, this is a pretty straightforward process. It's going to utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations, so you don't need to make any permanent modifications to the truck itself. 2 things you will need to be aware of though. For the driver's side over axle pipe and that tip, you are going to have to mount one more exhaust hanger, but that is included in the kit, and it is designed to be a bolt-on part, so again, no modification to the truck. The other thing of note is that depending on your cab or bed size, you may need to make a cut to this extension pipe here. However, it is only going to be one cut. Details on what trucks need it are included in the instructions in the box, so you'll have a handy reference guide, and we're going to talk you through the entire process right now as we head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, exhaust hanger remover tool, 14mm wrench, an extension, 13, 14, and 15mm sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our Silverado. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory exhaust, and then we'll meet you back here for the install.
It's going to start with this 13mm clamp holding our factory cat back to the cat pipe right here. Grab your 13 socket and loosen that guy up. All right, we don't really need the sockets anymore. We're just gonna switch over to a hanger removal tool, which I definitely recommend. Pry bar works as well. This is just a little bit easier. We have a bunch of hangers we need to pop out of some isolators. So grab your hanger tool or something similar, and you're gonna basically pry these guys out. Lubricating the hangers definitely goes a long way to make things easier. For that, you can use WD-40 or PB Blaster or something similar, just to help it slide out easy. All right, so now we can move down the line and get the next two. All right, for this next step, I have a pole jack underneath of our muffler supporting it. We're gonna pop off the hanger right above the muffler, really right over the axle too. Grab your hanger tool and pop that guy off. All right, having that pole jack or floor jack definitely helps give it some stability there. All right, for this next one, you wanna be careful because this is the last piece holding this guy up, so it's gonna get pretty loose and wobbly. Once you pop this out, you can take the entire exhaust off all in one piece. All right, so this may be easier with a helping hand if you have a friend on deck to give you a hand doing this, but it can be done by yourself. Just make sure you're being careful because it is still all one piece.
So the first thing we're going to do is install our front pipe. We've got a new clamp included in the kit. This is the rounded one. Slide that on, and then get your front pipe, slide your clamp over. I'm going to take a 13mm socket just to get it snug around there, and then I can adjust it and fully tighten it down. Now I'm going to take one of my 3-inch clamps and slide that onto the other side of our front pipe. And now I've got a pole jack here to support the weight of the back of our next pipe. And now we also have our clamp that's going to be going into this hanger. So I'm going to slide that on from the other side. And rotate that into our hanger. I'm just going to flatten that out so it's level. And then you can grab a 15mm socket and tighten down your 2 clamps. Do the same thing over here. Now next we can install our muffler. So I'm going to slide another 3-inch clamp on our muffler inlet. Slide that onto our pipe. Get it level. And then come back to the clamp with a 15mm socket and tighten it down. Next we're going to install our passenger side over axle pipe. So take a 2.5-inch clamp and slide it onto your muffler outlet. And then we're going to get this up over the axle and into our muffler. And I'm going to get my rods into my rubber isolators. Next we'll get our driver side over axle pipe. So get another one of those 2.5-inch clamps on there. And then we'll go up over the axle. Slide that into the muffler. Connect that rubber isolator. And we're just going to leave these clamps loose for now, and we'll continue on with the driver side tailpipe. Now next we need to mount up our hanger on the driver side. So we're going to be taking a bolt. We're going through this oval shaped hole right here above the leaf spring. you're just gonna put that on one side. We've got this square backing plate that's gonna go on the other side of that bolt. And then we're just putting a flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the end of the bolt. And then grab a 14mm wrench on the bolt side and a 14mm socket on the nut side. So just grab a 14mm wrench on the bolt side and a 14mm socket on the nut side and tighten that down. Now we can get our driver's side tailpipe in place. Slide that clamp over. I'm gonna get this up into our isolator first. And then connect it to our over axle pipe. Now once we have those installed, I'm gonna go back to the muffler and start tightening down my clamps, and then I'll come back here. So now grab your 15mm socket, tighten down your 2 clamps. And now we'll come back to our tailpipe clamp. And once again, 15mm socket to tighten it down. Now, last thing we have are these 90-degree pipes and our tips. Now I like to do these together. Since this one can rotate, I'll do it with the tip so I can see where the tip's gonna land before I tighten that down. So now I'm just gonna slide my clamps on. So the one clamp I'm going all the way down onto the tip, and then the other one I'll get on here. Slide that on, and now you can mock it up, see where you want your tip to be. And then once you have it in good up and down position, you can tighten your first clamp. And then you can adjust your in and out poke on the tip. Put it sticking out as far or as little as you want. And then tighten down your tip clamp. 15mm socket for both of these. And then repeat on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the C&L dual exhaust system with black tips, rear exit for your 2009 to 13 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500. Thank you for watching, and for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.